takes the ball into the penalty area. It's on his right bar. Oh, what a strike for Wally O'Neill. And Leyton Orient double the advantage in style.
Well, good morning and well, just about good afternoon and welcome to Orient Live. Spirits are high here in E10, following on from Tuesday night's win in that penalty shootout after Derby. And I mean, we all know what's coming next. It's Man City at home on the 8th of Feb. But there's a lot of league football to be played until then. So let's focus on that, and I'm delighted to be joined by Joe Widdowson and Andrew Butler here in the E10 studio. And it's kind of the biggest ever elephant in the room. All eyes have been on this FA Cup fixture, and rightfully so.
Yeah, usually you don't like to talk about elephants in the room, but I love talking about it, and I have done. I've had a smile on my face since about 10:30 p.m. on Tuesday. It's one of those things that kind of transcends just being a fan of this club. Everyone's kind of aware of it, even if you're tangentially involved. If you've got friends who know about the club, people are aware that we're going to be playing the world's richest club, the world champions here in E10, and just there's so many different aspects to it, which I'm sure we've got a month before, well, we've got a few weeks before they come, but just even coming here this morning, I was like, those lot are going to be sat in the away dressing room, and if people aren't aware of that away dressing room here, it's not that big. It's not that big, and it's not that comfortable either. So yeah, I'm just so looking forward to it. It was just an amazing evening here on Tuesday night.
I think it's genuinely about as big as the studio here, that away dressing room. So we're looking forward to seeing Erling Haaland in there. But Richie's got a bit of a job on his hands, I guess, with the sense of we were all obviously really excited for it. I'm sure the players are as well. But how hard is it as a player now to refocus, try and find that league or continue that league form that we had before reaching that fourth round? Focus is going to be key.
Yeah, it is, and I think it's such a big game and such a huge achievement like the other night that you need to allow the players to get excited and to get a bit carried away. And I'm sure it's impossible not to. It's that big a game. It'll be like the career highlight for a lot of these boys. Playing against the very, very best, and it's such a brilliant achievement that they, inevitably you can't escape it. It's going to be on their minds. They've got sort of like 2-3 weeks, I think, before the game, and they'll all be desperate to be involved. I've had so many people asking me for tickets, so I can't even imagine what it's like for our boys that are going to be involved. But it's brilliant. But again, Richie will be saying, look, boys, it's back to reality today. This is our bread and butter. This is the league. We're, as good as the other night was, we can't forget how important our form, because the reason that they've gone on to win the other night is because the league form, the momentum has been so good over the past few weeks. The form, the commitment, the application of the boys, especially over that festive period, was just outstanding. That's driven them on, with all the injuries and everything else that has happened. That's driven them on to get that result the other night. And then they've got to bring themselves back down to earth today to try and hopefully continue that run.
They certainly do, and we're talking about bringing themselves back down, maybe emotionally, but physically, we were realising how late it was on Tuesday night after that penalty shootout for them as well. They would have put their all in. Injuries are a big part, are playing a big part at the moment. It's a big test today in an early kickoff as well.
It's a real test. And obviously the early kickoff is not ideal for some of these players. But even looking through the team, which we will come on to, there's players who came off on Tuesday and were clearly carrying either just knocks, but they obviously rallied around and managed to just get fit and healthy for today's game. So all credit to the physios and the medical staff for being able to get out a team which looks reasonably strong as well. Not quite perhaps as strong as you'd like it to be, but we've played so much football of late, and I mean even the game going to extra time as well, 120 minutes plus penalties. But there's that added thing. I mean, Joe's said it in the past as well, and you'll hear it from probably most professional footballers who say that the injuries just don't feel as bad when you've won and when you've had such an amazing result as Tuesday night. The injuries just don't feel quite as bad and you can just about get yourself back on the training pitch and hopefully they can kind of return to the well and do it all over again today.
Well, as Andrew alludes to, we will be taking a look at the lineups very shortly, but first let's hear from the main man, the gaffer. It's Richie Wellens.
Peterborough to come. They're up and around it. Haven't had that kind of season yet. They're second top scorers in the league, though, I think. So what kind of game are you expecting?
Yeah, they're a dream if you have both teams to score every week, aren't they? So it's got a lot of threat at the top end of the pitch, but also concede a lot of goals as well. So I think obviously they've lost a lot of quality in the back four from last season, and I think we've got 2 new players in, Eden and Sam Hughes. So that might freshen them up. But I think it's always a tough game, Peterborough. You've got to be good on transition. You've got to make sure you're in the right positions when you lose the ball. Otherwise, you've got pace on the counter attack. And tactically, the players have got to be able to adapt because Darren's very, very tactically good. He's a good coach, good manager, and he's very aware of his different formations and the way that he can change his tactics to influence a game in his favour.
Since Tuesday, we've brought Dylan in. It looks like Chesterfield fans are really gutted that he's left them. So what do you think he can bring to us?
Good serves Chesterfield right for knocking us out of the cup last year, isn't it? No, it's the way it is. We got a phone call from the agent saying that he'd like to play at a higher level, and obviously we think he's done great. He's a player that I've been aware of since he was at Tottenham and then Blackburn. Made a number of appearances in the Championship for Blackburn. Dropped to a level that he feels he's too good for. Got the numbers to back that up, and hopefully now he can kick on. And
of course, as Richie referenced there, the O's did make a signing the other day with Dylan Markanday coming into the squad on a January signing. He was on loan at Chesterfield in the first half, and he joins us for the rest of this season, and he goes straight in to the starting 11 today, starting on the right wing. But let's take a look and see how that whole 11 shapes up. So starting in goal with another heroic performance on Tuesday night, saving a penalty in the shootout, crucially, is Josh Keeley in goal today. Across the back line, we have Jack Curry at left back, and Tom James returns in the league at right back, with Jack Simpson and Omar Beckles in defence. Darren Prattley wears the armband in midfield, and he's alongside Zach Obiero, who of course scored that winning penalty on Tuesday. Ahead of them is Ethan Galbraith, Jamie Donnelly and new signing Dylan Markanday, and leading the line, the goal scorer as well from Tuesday night, Charlie Kelman. And on the bench, Noah Phillips, Brandon Cooper, Jaden Sweeney, Charlie Pegram, Dialing Jayasimi, Jordan Brown and Lewis Warrington. Let's start with the new signing then. Rich, you were talking about it there. It's a player that you know quite well from your playing days, Joey. A good signing, you say?
Yeah, well, I won't say quite well, but like I was saying to you guys before we started, I'd played against him in pre-season a couple of years ago, and it wasn't pleasurable for me. I didn't enjoy it. He was I was really impressed with him. Very, very sharp, very technical, small but agile and good change of pace. He gave me a tough time for 45 minutes. So. Yeah, when I saw his name, that we'd signed him on loan, just really excited to see him. Obviously, I'm sure he's progressed and developed since then. He's obviously left Spurs, gone to play in the Championship. And yeah, it seems like a really good signing. So excited to see what he can contribute. And I think in a position as well where we needed additions, our wide players and our forwards, I think have done so well, especially our young lads, the likes of Perkins, Donnelly. Just balloons really. I think they've been outstanding in recent games. But it's nice to. I think January is a good time to bring in a bit of freshness, and I'm sure it will contribute to the squad.
7 goals from out wide in the first half of the season for Chesterfield. It's quite a good return for a winger, really. And I think the more telling stat, or it's not even a stat, but it's the reaction from the Chesterfield fans on social media that they were gutted to see him go.
Yeah, and it looks like a really, really good signing on paper. And what's really nice is that it seems as if though he's said to the club that he wants to play at a higher level. So there's a nice bit of confidence that you can take from that. His performances have been really, really excellent for Chesterfield so far this season. And I mean, it's always nice when you get a player who's come on loan from the Championship, because the whole idea is to prove yourself at a level And clearly he's proved himself at League Two level, and he's wanting to progress to show that he can do the business at League One, so that therefore he can go and play for his parent club. I'm sure that is the goal. Eventually, he's come through at Spurs, obviously going to be incredibly well coached at a youth level, and Blackburn are doing really well as well in the Championship. So there's that kind of, I mean, I might be talking too much too soon, but there's that kind of Idris El Mazouni element to it, right? Of getting a player from a team who's excelling in the Championship, perhaps more so than people would have thought. Blackburn are higher than I think most people would have thought they would be at this stage of the season. And then you get a player who wants to play at a high level like Markanday, and he's come here because we're doing that well, and Blackburn have clearly put their trust in us for him to progress. And so we haven't seen anything from him yet, but when I saw him sign for us, I got a couple of messages from people saying, this is a really excellent signing too.
And if you're Blackburn and even Dylan looking from the outside over the last 8 weeks or so, over the last 12 games, you'd look at this as an exciting team to come and join, and also the way we played, the way our front four all play interchange. As a player like him, you'd be kind of licking your lips and thinking like this is a good place to come and play football. Yeah,
absolutely, and I'm sure that would have been a massive part of an influence in his decision to come here. I'm sure. Look, we've seen his his goals and his stats from the first half of the season, so I doubt he would have been short of suitors. But probably the lure of London, coming back home where he's obviously from. And the fact that the team's doing so well, Richie's a brilliant coach. I'm sure we would have heard all about him and had a conversation of where they see him fitting into the team and his role and that sort of thing. So it just look, as Andrew said, he's not kicked a ball yet, but it seems like a really good fit all round from the outside. And let's hope that the club and Dylan are both sort of winners.
I think the other thing to say about him is that we also have to give him time as well to fit in. It won't be an easy task, and I think what we've seen so far of our loanees this season is that we have to give them time. I think the benefit that Markanday's got is that he's coming into a winning team, a coherent team. But you think back to, say for example, Jamie Donnelly's first few appearances, Sonny Perkins' first few appearances. It took them a while. It took them a while to get up to speed. It took everyone a bit of time to kind of to gel as a team and as a squad. So hopefully he will hit the ground running, but we just have to make sure that we're patient with any new signing.
We've got some clips actually of Dylan Markanday to see kind of a bit what he's about. If we take a look at these on the screen now, Joe, it's something we've had with Ollie O'Neill and Dan actually, but with them out injured, with Theo out injured, Jordan Graham out injured, it's a crucial key that could be really important in the second half of the season.
Yeah, I think look, the main thing that stands out is the numbers and the goals, and you can see here that he's got a real eye for goal. He operates in wide positions. I'm sure he can probably play all across the front line, but you see he gets himself into goal scoring positions, whether that's centrally, whether it's coming in off the back post, or there he finds himself middle of the goal and he tucks it away. But he's really keen to try and get himself in goal scoring positions. And very, very technically good player. He's got a nice left foot. Areas again popping up, just stabbing home. So he's almost like some of these finishes are kind of almost poacherish, really. But he'll like to roll inside. He'll like to get himself into pockets and get involved. And I just think that his attributes will really suit the way that we want to try and play.
Absolutely. And
they took out the highlights from his game against you, Joe.
Yeah, thankfully. I wouldn't want to see that back again.
You erase them from the internet. But let's talk about the others in that attacking lineup then, because Charlie Coleman, amongst the goals on Tuesday again, he's been on fire. He's scoring most games now. Ethan Galbraith moving up into attack. Jamie Donnelly has been superb. Peterborough would probably be worried going into this one.
Yeah, and they've got new players as well in that back line. Hughes has come in, Eden's come in as well, and so there's something for them to think about. I think Charlie Coleman's got to take a lot of credit for the way that he's performed over the Christmas period and into the new year. I mean, we're talking about a guy who there's a real high chance that Charlie Coleman will play somewhere between 55, 56 games a season. I mean, because obviously Adji's out for a moment, and Kelman's already got, I think, 34 appearances under his belt this season. Obviously, hasn't played every minute of those games, but it's a high number of games to play at any level. You see teams complaining about the amount of football that they have to play. There's a real chance that Charlie Kelman's going to be playing over 50 games this season, which is, full credit for him keeping sharp, keeping fit, and also getting in the goals as well. And so I thought his performances in the last 4 weeks or so have been brilliant. Really topped off with an excellent goal, a real good striker's finish on Tuesday night. And the way that these four are going to be playing this afternoon will be interesting. Ethan Galbraith has kind of done the biggest transition you can possibly do really on a football pitch, which is right back to probably left-hand side of the three in attack. But because he's such a good player, we know that he will be capable there. I'm looking forward to seeing how him and Jack Curry interact down that left-hand side. And Donnelly's really, we've spoken to him about him quite a lot of late, but he's really coming good and becoming the sort of player that most people expect him to become.
And just securing up that midfield, then Darren Prattley, which I think we've spoken so much about him now, how he oozes class, but it's Zach Obiero who comes in alongside him. Saying he hasn't had too many starts in the league, but he showed the minerals to score that penalty on Tuesday night. He's a young lad. This is a fantastic chance for him today. Yeah, it is. And I'm pleased. I like the look of the team today. I think Richie's done well to kind of freshen things up. It's good to see Tom James come back in. Obviously Dylan coming in and starting as well. But I'm really pleased that Zach gets a game. I think he'll be chomping at the bit. Desperate for his chance. I'm sure he's been, waiting patiently, training hard, doing all the right things as you have to do as a young player when you're waiting for an opportunity. But yeah, I just hope he takes it today, and I hope I think Darren Prattley in there alongside him will be invaluable for him. Just having that bit of experience, and also this. I think this is the kind of game as well where you're looking at the likes of Omar Beckles, Darren Prattley, just to kind of settle everyone. Look, boys, the other night was amazing, but come on, do you know what I mean? Let's make sure we're on it today. We really want to put in a good performance and just continue the run we've been on. There's an element also of Zach coming into the team that I'm really pleased to see it. First and foremost, obviously Tuesday night, just scoring the winning penalties, took a lot of guts. I mean, you know who the first five are going to be taking the penalties. To take the sixth, that's when you're into your kind of like hairy moments and territory. But there's also a lot of stuff that fortunately we're privy to, but some people may not be able to appreciate. When you're not in the matchday squad, but you are fit, you still have to turn up to the stadium sometimes and just run as well. And we've been here a couple of times before matches, an hour and a half before kickoffs, and you've seen Zach Obiero have to kind of just run, shuttle runs up and down the pitch, just to stay fresh and just to stay sharp. And as a player, you probably just don't want to be doing that. You probably want to be having your feet up either in the stands or at home. There's a lot of graft that goes into not playing some of the time, and I'm so pleased that he kind of had his moment, and now this is another opportunity for him to kind of take, for him to grasp, because obviously just scoring the winning penalty doesn't mean that you automatically get the chance to start the next game, but it is a real opportunity for him. And looking at his game today, because he had a fair few appearances at the start of the season, which probably came at a time where results weren't dropping for us, and Darren Prattley maybe wasn't in the side as much, but now into a team that knows how they're playing, they're really confident, and as Joe touched on, Darren Prattley alongside him, feels like another half season has gone by. He's that bit more experienced. It's almost like another chance to introduce himself. Yeah, for sure. I mean, it doesn't feel like we've been here before with him, but he's certainly at the start of the season was one of those names where it's like, oh great, this could be Obiero's season, and he was starting a couple of games, and he fell out the team, fell out of the squad. We reverted back to as we all actually kind of did with our backline, where we started the season with Simpson and Cooper and Beckles and Happy, and no one was really quite sure how that was going to work, and settled on Beckles and Happy, and obviously Happy's injured at the moment. But we did a similar thing with our central defensive midfield positions, where we realised actually the two that were going to start there most games was going to be Prattley and Brown, and that's what's happened. And obviously Brown's on the bench, Prattley's starting because he's just been so good of late, and now
it's kind of like that opportunity where it's like, okay, cool, we've got another option here, and there's also 2 options there on the bench, Brown and Warrington, who Richie's thought, no, let's give it to Obiero today.
Well, it's exciting times indeed, and a lot of youngsters in the squad. But of course, there's just over 10 minutes to go until kickoff. So if you're watching along live on our YouTube pre-match stream, then head over to the Match Centre to pick up your streaming pass. If you're an international fan, you can watch along with us here on Orient Live, and UK fans, you can listen along with Dave Victor and Matt Hiscock on audio commentary. Just head over to the Match Centre and pick up your pass there. But now it's time to hear from the latest addition to the O squad. It's Dylan McAndrew giving his first words since becoming an O.
Dylan, welcome to Leyton Orient. How pleased are you to be here?
Yeah, delighted. Happy to finally get it done, and just can't wait to get going.
So you've had your first couple of days training, but prior to that, you were there on Tuesday night for the cup game against Derby. First off the back of that, just how excited did that make you feel to get going here?
Yeah, I mean, what a first fixture to come to, really. I mean, obviously playing against a championship club, and the fight and desire the boys gave, and the quality as well, was really impressive, and the atmosphere was amazing as well. So yeah, obviously just a great game to come watch.
Since then, you've had a couple of days training. How do you feel like you're settling in?
Settled in really well. All the boys have been really welcoming to me, and yeah, I'm just enjoying just trying to settle in and just get up to the speed of everything and take on new information from the gaffer and the staff. So yeah, I'm just can't wait to keep going.
We talk a little bit here about the changing room and how strong an environment it is. Obviously you've only been here a couple of days, but do you feel like you've had a little bit of a taste of that?
Yeah, I mean, from what I've seen so far, they all seem great, like a great bunch, very together, tight knit, and just want to do the best, for the football club, and work and train every day to the best of their ability. So I think that's really important, and yeah, I'm settling in well.
You've joined us on loan from Blackburn. You spent the first half of the season with Chesterfield, and from the outside looking in, it looks like you had a really good time there.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great past 6 months. Can't thank them enough for the opportunity they've given me. It's a great football club, great staff, great players and fans. So I'm just grateful for the opportunity they gave me, and yeah, I just wish them nothing but the best.
For Orient fans that haven't seen you play before, what kind of player are you? What can we expect to see from you?
Someone who is going to work hard in and out of possession, not just sort of like a player who just sort of coasts by, is going to give their all, and then on the ball, hopefully, bring quality and 1v1s. I feel like it's probably my biggest asset. Get driving at players and creating things, and hopefully scoring some goals.
So top stuff there from Dylan, and of course Manchester City is the team on everybody's lips, but there's plenty of football to be played, and we've even got another trophy to go on the hunt for between now and then. And of course tickets are on sale for our game against Stevenage in the Virtu Trophy, which is this Tuesday. Kickoff is 7 o'clock and tickets are available to come here to the Gotham Group Stadium and get behind the boys as we look to book in another potential trip to Wembley. Make sure you join us for that one here on E10 on Tuesday. Bring as many down and get behind the boys and cheer them on. But now it's time to turn our attention to the home side. It's the Posh who are looking to turn their form around for the season. They're much closer to the relegation zone than they probably would have expected to be. But let's take a look and see the starting lineup that Darren Ferguson has opted for. In goal for them is Nicholas Bilokovic. Across the back line we have Carl Johnston, Sam Hughes, Emmanuel Fernandez and Adebayo Eden. In midfield is Archie Collins alongside Orient Academy graduate and captain for Peterborough, Hector Cipriano. We have Cian Hayes, Chris Clark and Malik Mothersill as the three. Just behind the striker, who is Gustav Lindgren. And on the bench is Will Blackmore, Harley Mills, Jadil Katongo, Abraham Odo, Ryan de Havilland, Bradley Ivan and Ricky Jade Jones. So, what are we making of Peterborough at the moment? 19th, 25 points, just 5 points off of the drop zone. They've got a game in hand. I mean, it's kind of unheard of for Peterborough.
A real surprise. I mean, when we played them earlier in the season, I thought they looked really really, really good. Their front line especially was particularly dangerous. They had Mothersill, Poku, Ricky J. Jones, and they just looked absolutely electric. And we did really well in that game actually to kind of keep them quite quiet. They're really struggling without Kwame Poku. He got injured in December against I think Burton, and he's out for 3 months. And it's just he's a sort of player who he's got 10 goals, 5 assists to his name so far this season, and a really hard player to replace. Having said that, they've got this guy Lindgren who's come in from the Swedish top tier for I think $500,000 as well. Peterborough, that sort of a club. Their game against Everton in the FA Cup, I watched that last Thursday, and yeah, they looked actually really good. Obviously, they lost 2-0 in that game against Premier League opposition, but they looked really quite decent. So it's a real surprise actually, and their goal difference is -5, only 5 points off the relegation zone, which suggests that they're probably in a bit of a forced position. But we've got a real opportunity because they have been in such a poor run of form in the league. Form-wise,
they've won 1 in their last 9. It's kind of the polar opposite to us. Form goes out the window in a League One fixture, though. Joe, you can't rest on any laurels.
Yeah, I think they're a team that, like Andrew said when we played them before, they've got a lot of quality, but they're a really young team as well. And just we had a tricky patch, didn't we, earlier in the season? I think when you're a young team, the only way you get through that is you have to just play through it. You have to try and find a way, find solutions. And they're a team in this moment that are still looking for answers, but. Again, going back to the game against Everton, they were really impressive. I think on their day as well, the way that Peterborough always set up and coached is they want to just dominate. They'll go out and they'll just try and score more than you. So I think on their day, they can still beat anyone in this division. They're just going through a bit of a difficult spurt at the moment, but I'm sure they'll come out of it. And they've got a lot of really talented young players there. Even though they're missing, their main man Poku, I still think there's some huge threats on the pitch for them today.
And it's down to Orient to capitalise on that maybe lack of confidence from Peterborough. We've been scoring goals recently, and we've just got to keep doing that.
Yeah. I think it'll be one of the toughest games that we've actually faced. They got a good win midweek against Walsall in the trophy, and I think they will take some confidence from that. But we are the form team coming into it. We'll be buzzing after Tuesday night's performance as well. So all the best to the lads.
Well, there will be a 1-minute silence as well for Dennis Law. So we're going to hand over now to our commentary team of Dave Victor and Matt Hiscock.